I'm Mark Beale, and this is Freedom from Smoking Motivation. This recording uses many neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, techniques. NLP is closely related to hypnosis and does work directly with the subconscious mind, so it's best to listen only when you can give this your focused, laid-back attention, as it can also create hypnotic states to assist your goals. How do we become fully motivated? Many of my clients, when they first see me, feel that they're 80% motivated up to 99% motivated to not smoke. But since they're still smoking, there must be some motivation to smoke. The missing motivation to not smoke, the other 20% or just 1%, is usually due to blockages that they're not really consciously aware of, but contribute to a hesitation to make a final, complete decision to be fully motivated. This recording focuses on how we become fully motivated to fully achieve our goal. So the first question is, how do we become fully motivated? The second question is, motivated to do which goal exactly? To find this out, I ask the question, are you ready to decide to gain freedom from smoking for life now? The language we use to set our goals can have a central importance in the results we get. In NLP, the L stands for linguistic. Most of the time we hardly notice the words we choose and their significance. The question I asked, every word was important and significant. I asked, are you ready to decide to gain freedom from smoking for life now? Most people say, I'll try to quit smoking because I should lose the habit. Let's look at these 4 key words involved in that statement. Quit and lose, try and should. You've been trying to quit, to be a quitter, but a quitter is someone who can't finish what they start. So you end up quitting by quitting trying to stop smoking. Or there's a feeling that by quitting you somehow lose something. And at some level, no one wants to lose anything, even something that can cause psychological pain, and more likely lead to ill health and a possible painful early death. Many people are hesitant to stub out cigarettes, even while cigarettes are working to stub them out. So instead of saying to yourself, you have to quit smoking and lose the habit, it's better to decide to gain freedom from smoking. Try is another key word. Have you thought you've been trying to quit smoking? Trying to do something allows the possibility of failure. It can even invite failure because the word has an inbuilt excuse. At least I tried. Many people only try because of the conflict that comes from the first words, quit and lose. We can subconsciously try, but we want to fail to avoid the loss that we subconsciously think might come with that success. If you decide to gain freedom from smoking, there is no try. You decide to do or not do. The true final decision to gain control and gain freedom from smoking is very important. Had you felt you should quit smoking, the word should implies that you don't really want to, and then that you're not really going to. If you're motivated by the opinions of others, or because a loved one has asked you to stop, this is not a compelling reason. We can look at the ways for you to claim ownership for your decision as your own. When I ask my smoking clients, they have found a way to decide that they must stop smoking because it's no longer in alignment with their authentic true self. If you decide to gain freedom from smoking, there is no should for other people. You decide to do it because you must do it for you, to get authentic self-satisfaction. If other people benefit too, that's fine, but it works best if that's a bonus, and you'd still do it for yourself anyway. This is part of the long-term game of staying free for life. So that even if people come and go from your life, this decision to stop smoking does not come and go. It stays with you for the rest of your longer, healthier, better life. So as we look at these words, we can change them. So you're no longer trying to quit smoking because you should lose the habit. Now you have decided to gain a freedom from smoking because you need to be true to your own self. Some people feel that they will stop soon, but it's just not a good time now. If you can wait for a time, a few weeks or a few months from now when it will be easier, that's fine. Pick the best time and do it then. If this isn't the best time, if this is not your time to quit, then don't quit yet. But if it's always a few weeks in the future, or if there's never really a good time, then the best time has to be now. A fourth factor is the conditioning we have to think that it's too hard. People can be demotivated or not fully motivated because they think it's going to be very difficult. This is where that metaphor of the young elephant with a rope tied around its leg can come in. That rope does chain it down. The grown elephant has learnt the power of the rope, so they think it's going to be too hard to leave. But clearly the elephant is far more powerful than that rope. If there was an actual rope made of cigarettes tied around your ankle, it would not be hard to break. The reality is we simply break a flimsy chain whose only power comes from our perception of its power due to our outdated conditioning when we were much younger and less strong and less powerful than we are now. We can have a tendency to want to argue for our own perceived limitations, to prove ourselves right, instead of using our true power to get the results we say we want. People who talk about the massive power of the nicotine addiction are willfully falling for this simple trick. So how can these blocks seem real and powerful? Well, that can come through conditioning from the past. You probably tried to quit in the past, found it difficult, and were not successful in stopping. When we start smoking, we want to smoke. The first attempt to try to quit is usually when we're about 50% ready to quit and 50% want to keep smoking, which adds up to a half-hearted attempt to stop and a first failure at trying to quit. The next attempt we might be 70-80% ready to quit, so we give it another try. But if we're not fully ready or prepared, we just end up reinforcing the idea that it's difficult to quit. Well, if you're trying to quit using conscious effort to try to overcome a subconscious process without a skillful technique, then of course it's difficult. But this time it's different. You're using your subconscious mind, so it can be a lot different and a lot easier than any previous times. There are many possible conditioning factors that we will deal with individually in our other hypnosis smoking downloads. But now we're concentrating on the motivation it takes to break through all of them. There is only one real thing that can possibly stop you from stopping smoking. That is if you don't really believe or want to make a final decision to break the chain. Different people tend to have different motivation strategies. So now we'll look at some NLP tools called meta programs. So the question is, are you more motivated to take action to move towards pleasure and improvements, or more motivated to move away from pain and things getting worse? What are the 3 worst things about smoking for you? What are the bad or painful things that motivate you to want to move away from smoking? Are there health issues that you already know about, or that you feel are likely? Have you seen people with emphysema, cancer, people talking through voice boxes, and all the graphic warnings that you don't want to happen to you? Is it the social inconvenience, having to go outside? Has there become a social stigma, so it's not as cool as it used to be? Do you feel judged or taken less seriously at work? Is one of the worst things for you the smell that attacks your clothes, is in your car? Or if you try to keep it out of the house, you know it still stays in your breath. Is it how it might give you an unpleasant cough? Do you feel like it makes you a bad role model? Have you noticed premature aging, or do you want to avoid premature aging in future? Is there a feeling of letting yourself down, or letting your family down as a role model to your children? Or are there health worries that mean you may not be around for your grandchildren? What was the point that triggered you to be listening to this now? The times you thought to yourself, I've got to do something serious to stop smoking. I've had enough of smoking now. Think of one or two of those times now. See what you saw. What was that moment? Where were you? Feel the emotion that made you decide you must gain freedom from smoking. Have you found cigarettes disgusting at any time? Maybe when you were sick, but you still tried to smoke. Or have you seen other people seriously ill because of smoking and you don't want that to happen to you? Recall each of these times where smoking had a lack of pleasure or a pain associated to it. Tell yourself the story about those moments. How did you feel then? What were the thoughts that went through your mind? What conclusion did you come to about what you must do? Keep cycling through those memories, reminding yourself vividly of your decision that you've made in the past, which is why you're here now, to remind yourself fully and completely at all levels that you must gain control and be free of smoking, to be true to yourself right now and for the rest of your life. Keep cycling through each of those memories, reminding yourself vividly of your intent to be free of smoking right now. Do this repeatedly until you're so sick and tired of cigarettes, until you're totally disgusted or completely fed up with that old habit that tried to control you. So that when you think about smoking, this is what you'll think about. And yet, since you're choosing to be free, soon you'll be able to stop thinking about those things, because you won't need to think about smoking. It won't be a relevant part of your life in any way. So if you can imagine those pictures on a screen, they can turn to black and white, because they can become old-fashioned and outdated. Imagine if those pictures get fuzzy and out of focus, as if they're on a small TV screen that can go down and to the left. So it can get smaller and smaller down to the left, and then spinning down, around and behind you, disappearing left behind in a last puff of smoke. Left behind, further, smaller, more distant in the past. Because you're ready to make way for the future in front of you and wonder what will be the 3 best things that being a non-smoker will mean for you. What are the good, pleasurable things that can motivate you to move towards the benefits of being a non-smoker? Will it be good health? New, good-smelling clothes, more confidence and self-respect, a feeling of satisfaction and achievement, feeling more attractive to the opposite sex, or better relationships with others, yourself, and your body, knowing and showing that you have the power to make positive changes in your life that can flow through in many ways to your career, to your energy, and an overall sense of being, lightness, strength, and longevity. What do you really want? And what will gaining freedom from smoking help give you more and more? Imagine now that you can look up to the right and create a movie screen, a big movie screen, and play in a moving picture scenes that represent the 3 biggest positives that you'll gain as a non-smoker. Imagine you can see exactly or approximately how it will look to create a healthier, more energetic and satisfying life. Let it be a snapshot of specific moments in time. Let it get bigger, brighter, closer, seeing yourself enjoying the benefits of being a non-smoker now and for life. And if there was one of those that was the best benefit of gaining freedom from smoking you can move towards, what would that be? Another element of our meta programs is our external or internal motivation. Are you more motivated by your external or your internal motivation? Are you more motivated to take action when you see or hear something external, like an image on Instagram, a comment someone makes, an inspiring emotional moment that someone else has when they talk about how they stop smoking? Or are you more motivated to take action when you see, hear or feel something internal, where you get an image of your smoke-free self? Is it your inner voice saying the right words for you? Or a feeling you get deep inside your body, an inspiring emotional moment? Of course, we're all motivated by both internal and external factors. One can lead to the other. But I wonder which one is the most significant for you. One more way of using our subconscious mind is to ask, how do you process motivation when it becomes internal using your senses? Now we can look at what we call the submodalities. So these questions relate to your visual capacity. We all experience internal images, thoughts and feelings, and by becoming consciously aware of them, we can learn our own personal best way of effective motivation. So I'll ask some quick questions now, so just give a first short answer that comes to mind. When you feel most motivated to take action to gain freedom from smoking, is that when you make internal images of things you want to gain, like a picture of being healthy and confident? Or is it a picture of wanting to avoid being sick and dependent? Do you see a picture of somebody else looking great without cigarettes and thinking, I'm sure I could do that too? Do you see a picture of somebody looking terrible thinking, I never want to be like them? If there was one inner picture you could make that could most motivate your decision to be free from smoking, what would that inner picture be? Do you have more of an inner dialogue? Do you have an inner voice say something to you like, it would be great to say that I'm a non-smoker, to say I succeeded in stopping? Does your inner voice say, I don't want to be known as a smoker anymore? Or was it most persuasive when someone else said to you, I believe you can do it? So if there was one phrase or sentence or word that could most motivate you to be a non-smoker, what would that phrase, sentence or word be? Something like, enough is enough, no more. Is it because you have more of a feeling? Do you feel a feeling of relief or happiness or gratitude that makes you want to do it once and for all? Or is it a feeling of just pure determination not to suffer a horrible, preventable disease? Have you felt feelings of suffering that other people have felt? Or felt a fear and determination to not let that fate be yours? If there was one inner feeling or emotion that could most motivate you to become a non-smoker now and for life, what would that feeling be? The last technique we can use from NLP is called a swish. Our habits can become like inner programming that make it feel difficult to change. Yet we can update our inner programming using the language of the subconscious, which is mainly in pictures, keywords, and feelings. What is a specific picture you can bring to mind that relates to the habitual actions of smoking? For example, a picture of your hand reaching out towards a cigarette packet, or a picture of yourself smoking connected to a main trigger that you have for smoking, the kind of event that makes you reach out for a cigarette. So imagine, for example, a picture of your hand opening a cigarette packet. Make that picture big and close. Now make it fuzzy and grey. Make the sound the cigarettes are saying to you, like, "You must smoke me. You must smoke another one." Make that picture have a low energy and be weak. Now we can make a new picture. What is a new, helpful, habitual thought relating to freedom from smoking? For example, a picture of you feeling healthy, happy, successful as a non-smoker. Make a picture smaller and in the distance, but with bright, vivid colors. Make a sound like, "I feel great." Make the feelings one that are full of endorphins and strong energy, achievement, success, happiness. Now imagine the colourful picture of happy and successful as a non-smoker at the back. Imagine that's attached with rubber bands to the grey picture of your hand opening a cigarette packet in the front. Imagine now you can pull the colourful picture of happy and successful as a non-smoker and hear the sound like, "I can do it," and the endorphins and the good energy. And let the colourful picture of happy and successful as a non-smoker release and shoot forward and blow away the grey picture of your hand opening the cigarette, replacing it with the now big, bright, colourful picture of success. Maybe you hear the sound of happy and successful as a non-smoker swishing forward, whoosh, and feel the head as it blows away the old grey picture. So that old hand trying to open a cigarette packet is replaced by a much bigger, brighter, better, colourful picture of happy and successful as a non-smoker, looking, sounding and feeling great. You can do this again, as you imagine pulling back on the rubber band and letting go of the bright, colourful picture of happy and successful as a non-smoker, so it bursts forwards and blows away the grey picture of your hand trying to open a cigarette packet, whoosh, replacing it with the now big and bright, colourful picture of happy and successful as a non-smoker, looking, sounding and feeling great. So keep doing this again and again, very quickly, 5 or 10 times. As you think about your hand trying to open a cigarette packet, it instantly reminds you of the new ways that you're using to choose happiness, success, enjoyment, health as a non-smoker, in a way that's bright, loud and clear, with sounds like "I can do it" and good endorphin feelings. So things that used to demotivate or trigger you to smoke now remind you of your desire to get the authentic medium and long-term pleasure of your true goal to be happy and successful fully and completely as a non-smoker now. So, with a foundation of inner motivation, gaining freedom from smoking becomes more automatic at a subconscious level, so we can take it to the next level using the smoking hypnosis downloads, so you can gain all the benefits of being healthy, happy and successful, enjoying life more, better as a non-smoker for life.